I'm Jed Wise, I'm president of Urbana Oil Company, we're the fuel suppliers for Nelson Township.
Okay.
And kind of had the unpleasant experience of watching a YouTube video of a meeting here. And I came up here to explain something about our company and some issues. So in the folders I handed out, the first page is a follow-up letter I sent to Nelson Township after I had a meeting with Jimmy Turrows and Joe Leonard. I had an engineer that's a state and federal inspector to explain fuel tank laws. I also had my maintenance man who's a state certified tank installer there and myself. And we discussed upgrading tanks because tank laws, and of course everything in this country, but the tank laws have increased over the years. We brought the tanks up here in 2000, but things have changed and they need to be upgraded. I talked to them about needing to start upgrading the tanks.
Sir, I don't mean to interrupt you, but this meeting you're talking about, this is dated 2010? Is that what I'm reading? That's
So this is my letter, it's a follow-up. It's a follow-up letter to a meeting I had prior to that.
But the meeting was in 2010 or
It
thereabouts?
was probably mid to late December of 2010.
Okay, I just, because it says your fuel usage for 2010. And that's when you were
Because I
discussing.
traveled and talked to commercial customers and townships and things to explain the changes in the tank laws. All right, so that was some years ago. I also sent letters out to all of our above ground tank customers because I had a meeting because the tank laws are getting even stiffer in the last couple of months, and the federal EPA is hit, actually encompass farms, but actually the commercial laws, they always had to be upgraded. And I tried to get a lot of our commercial customers to come to a meeting so I could have an engineer explain the laws to people and explain to a lot of people at one time. So I sent, the second letter was sent to the township. All right, I probably had 60 people there to explain tank laws, all right? Nobody from Nelson Township came or responded. The third letter, or piece of paper, is just a summary of the state fire marshal regulations. All right? The fourth piece of paper is an application to remove the tanks from Nelson Township, which will be happening, I think it's on the 11th. There were Urbana Oil's tanks, we put them in brand new back in 2000. And they're out of compliance. And that's why my meeting 2.5 years ago was about they need to be upgraded. So we paid $225, sent that to the state. I have Hughes and Lulite coming to evacuate the fumes and the liquid and whatever sludge is in the tank, because that's, according to state law, they have to be evacuated for safe removal. So we're removing them. The next set is 2 copies of equipment agreements when we took these up there on the 1st of March of 2000. All right. The next 2 pieces of paper, one is a copy of a page out of the dictionary. It's under slander. It's highlighted. You can read that. And yes, Mr. Mikata, this is directed to you.
And what do you feel I said wrong, sir?
I watched a couple of the videos of these township meetings, and you basically damaged the reputation of Urbana Oil Company.
These are official.
Excuse me, I'm talking. When I'm done, maybe you can talk.
Go ahead.
You actually bash our company. You don't know anything about the tank laws, apparently, because of the way you talk. You've talked to some other oil companies. And actually, you were talking about just buying a tank and setting it down there. You don't buy a tank and set it down there. There's state designed plans by an engineer that is a professional engineer. You send them to the state, you buy a permit to install. There's a cement pad with rebar in it. There's ballards for crash resistance. There's a fence around it. There's explosion-proof electrical with emergency stop button, fire extinguisher, all that stuff. It's not a simple situation. That's why I came up here and talked to you guys about what you weren't on board at the time. But that's why I talked to people to try and plan ahead and upgrade the tanks. All right? You actually stated a lot of falsehoods about our company. We're an 82-year-old company. It's a family business. I've been here since '77. All right? Working all my life. I know a lot about the laws, underground and above ground. Our company has 177,000 gallons underground, which is fuel storage for all of our customers, whether heating oil, golf courses, townships, school systems, whatever. All right? It's hard to operate a business these days. You can't upgrade everybody's tank. I don't pour concrete on people's property and put up ballards and fence and supply tanks for 10 cents a gallon, which you guys buy 3,000 or 4,000 gallons of fuel. When you go down to a 300-gallon tank and eliminate 2 products, you'll be down to a little bit less than that. Tankage is important for communities. It's very important. It happens to be very expensive. If you look on the EPA website or the State Fire Marshal website, you won't see Ribbon Oil's name there. I don't write laws. I have been going out for years trying to educate people. Educate people. If they're willing to listen. Which some people are not willing to listen. That's what I've been doing. Now you talk to other oil companies, they say, oh, let's bring a tank out there. That's illegal. So you put a tank in the ground. You have to build a facility. It's a 25, 30-year facility. I do not appreciate it. It's very disheartening to do all this work for free and then trying to explain people and have somebody do that on the internet. It's slander and libel. I'm removing my tanks the proper way, according to the State Fire Marshal's regulations, next week. That's why I didn't deliver fuel there. I expect a public apology. You take that off the internet, and I might not talk to my attorney about this. And I hope you have a personal liability policy. You have damaged the reputation of an 80-year-old company. How many 80-year-old companies are in this county? I'm an ethical business person. Honest day's work for an honest day's buck. I'm done.
We don't authorize any kind of social media from here. I don't know what you watched. I have no idea. I have no idea what's out there on the internet.
Well, you need to get on the internet.
No, I don't need to do anything.
Well,
But my point is this. I don't authorize anything. Nobody has my release to put anything on the internet that I might have said. If I said anything, I said it at this meeting right here. It doesn't show up in our minutes. In 2006, I went to a seminar that you put on over at what was a motel that's gone now in Brimfield. And you essentially said the very same thing. The upgrade of the tanks, the fines, the scare taxis that were used at that time to try to get people to change their tanks and move them. That was in 2006. So 7 years later, I haven't seen anybody, I haven't heard of anyone prosecuted in any way for this above ground tank situation. I was not aware until just at our last meeting that those tanks were yours. All this time we've been talking here, I was under the impression that those tanks belonged to us. The gentleman to my left is the one that's spearheading this operation, kept saying, we have to change our tanks, we have to change our tanks. At no point did anyone ever make me aware that they belong to you. This whole problem with these tanks, these above ground tanks, essentially is your problem, right?
no,
You
they're
own the
regulations.
tank.
They're my problem.
You own the tank.
I own the tanks, and that's why oil companies don't loan tanks anymore. They're double wall tanks, flame shields with emergency venting, and they also have spill containment. Okay? Oil companies can't deliver fuel for a measly little margin and buy thousands of dollars of tanks and thousands of dollars of concrete. It just doesn't work out.
I understand.
Okay?
I'm buying.
And I don't ever remember you calling me, asking me questions. You went to this 2006 meeting. See, I don't know how many oil companies put on other seminars for you that you've attended, which was zero.
Zero, yeah.
We put on 2 seminars for people just to bring awareness, to explain to people how the government regulations are. And I don't write the laws. I don't write the laws. I go out and try and tell customers and help them get compliant on a 25 or 30-year location, all right? It's an asset for the community. One of these days, a tornado is going to come through the county, and your township might not have a tank. And there might not be a gas station that's open because there's no electric. I don't know. But the township is a community, and it's supposed to have some services. And one of them might be a fuel tank, okay? But I can't afford, nor can other oil companies afford, to provide the tanks unless they deliver for a really padded price. It's better off to own your tanks and get a really good price on fuel. You can call around and get a price from anybody, and the most competitive price in your tank. I don't think there's many people that have the money in an oil business to supply tanks to everybody. Maybe you'll find one. But my point of coming up here is how you slandered our company. You're uneducated about something, and you just ran off and started telling, we're going to stay as far away from Ravenna Oil Company as we can. If you go back and look at your recording of your minutes, you can see yourself talking about it.
You keep saying, I understand, we don't record the minutes. This gentleman does this on his own. That's his thing. We have nothing to do with that. Our official record of this meeting is our handwritten minutes. This is somebody else's thing. He does that completely on his own. Whatever you see on social media, I can't control it. I'm very sorry that you see whatever you see on it.
It came out of your mouth, and actually the meeting or two afterwards, you made reference to all the drama, and maybe you're the catalyst for it, which is another meeting.
You saw that on his
I saw that on
social media.
That's correct.
You know,
but
I really don't want to have that discussion.
You actually damaged the reputation of a very good company. That's an 82-year-old company that tries to do good for people. And I don't appreciate it.
I damaged that. Not this guy that puts it on the social media. I did. That's what you're telling me.
You need to read the definition of those terms there.
But you're telling me
that you stated this in public to people.
You're telling me that I did this, not the gentleman that puts this out there on any social media. He has no responsibility whatsoever here. That's what you're telling me.
I'm done talking.
Okay.
It was said in a public meeting. You said it in public.
If you read the definition, you'll
I'm not taking
understand.
sides here, but that is the definition of slander. When you publicly say something.
And what did I say exactly?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure.
But if you can't blame
You
someone
said
for
it's
putting
because of Ravenna Oil Company that these laws exist.
No, that's not what I said.
Yes, that is what you said.
I could not
9
have
minutes
said
and
that.
25 seconds on the video. Go to it, look at it. You said it's because of Ravenna Oil Company that these laws exist.
You guys keep referring to this video.
Well,
It could be audited anyway. You have to do, sir, you have to do whatever it is you have to do. I cannot believe that I specifically said it's because of your company that the laws exist. I cannot believe I would have said that.
I can't believe what you
If
said.
if I did say that, I more than apologize to you. Absolutely. I apologize to you and ask for your forgiveness if I said that. Because that is, you're absolutely right, stupid. And I can't believe I said that. If I did, I more than apologize to you. I am sorry.
Take it off YouTube.
I don't have anything to do with that,
Learn
sir.
how. It's time for you to learn how.
No, it isn't. I have nothing to do with that.
Trouble.
I don't even get on a computer myself very often. I don't do it. I have no control over it. Sir, that is why we don't officially do our minutes on video. That is why we don't. Because any of that stuff can be altered in any way, and you have no real control over it unless you have a professional videographer do it, and we don't. So I can't help what's on YouTube.
Which one is it? We've got it up on YouTube. Which one is it?
It's called Come Up and Cite Us.
So beyond that,